Welcome to the Music Man curated rehearsal presentation. Before we start, I wanted to give you a little context and explain some of the obstacles that we ran into as we went through this process. One of the big obstacles we ran into was, of course, technology and getting used to technology. So maybe instead of explaining that, I'll give you a little example of some of the types of conversations that we had.
Now, can we do it without sharing your screen, or does that not work for the volume?
When I share my screen, it also shares the volume.
Yes. I'm just saying then we can't see anybody, but we can only hear people. Is that okay, Claudia?
That is fine.
Okay, cool. Then we'll do it this way. Now, if you put it on speaker view, in the corner, will each person pop up or no?
Yes, it will.
Perfect.
So hold on. How do we do speaker view when you're sharing your screen? Where's that option?
I don't know. I have a different screen than you. So.
Darren?
Yes.
Do you have the little column of people?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so go to the top in the little black bar in the top. There will be the grid for gallery view. Then there'll be 2 slots. That's like the column. Then there's a single square. Click on that.
No, I don't have any of that you're talking about because.
Look, what do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
Yeah, so you kind of get the hang of why that was a little bit difficult. And I'm sure many of you in your Zoom calls during this time have had situations like that. But the really, really big problem that we had was syncing voices singing-wise. And so we've made choices today to take our big numbers like Wells Fargo Wagon and Iowa Stubborn, and we're having soloists sing all the lines, and we're doing it a cappella for you, so you don't have this cacophony of splattering noise. But in rehearsal, we didn't do that. I mean, we sang. We're going to have the kids sing at home today, and have soloists sort of sing it for you, so that it's not as just disturbing. But so you will understand what we're talking about. I want to give you a little taste of what that was like. So here you go.
If you ask about Miranda July, oh my God, we can attack. I never say but we'll give you our shine and go back to go with it. If you shine
You Des Moines, Davenport, Marshalltown,
City, James, Bear Lake, Otterdam, Iowa.
So through it all, we had a lot of camaraderie, we had a lot of connections, we had a lot of fun, and I think the kids learned a lot about persevering and a lot about theater. I mean, they learned a lot, and they learned a show from top to bottom, and that was a kind of a remarkable thing. And I think we all helped each other through a really difficult time. I know they helped me, and I know they helped the other directors, and we were so proud of them. So without further ado, I hope that you enjoy being a little fly on the wall as we go through a rehearsal of The Music Man. It is the morning of July 4th, 1912. Imagine a red, plushed, kerosene-lamped, enameled drinking-cupped railroad coach speeding down the tracks. The car is filled with traveling salesmen, passengers reading newspapers, and one mysterious stranger.
River City Junction, River City, next station stop.
You're crazy with the heat. Credit is no good for a notion salesman.
Boy, oh boy.
Why not? What's the matter with credit? It's old-fashioned. Charlie, you're an Anvil salesman. Your firm give credit?
Sir.
Nor anybody else.
River City next.
Cash for the merchandise. Cash for the button hooks. Cash for the cotton goods. Cash for the hard goods. Cash for the soft goods. Cash for the fancy goods. Cash for the noggins and the piggins and the firkins.
Cash for the hogshead, cask and demijohn. Cash for the crackers and the pickles and the flypaper.
Look, what do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
What do you get it?
What do you talk?
You can talk, you can talk. You can bicker, you can talk. You can bicker, you can talk. You can talk, you can talk, bicker, you can talk. Oh, you want it, but it's different than it was.
No, it ain't, but you gotta know the territory.
What's the Model T Ford? Made the trouble, made the people want to go. Want to get up and go. 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 22, 23 miles to the county seat.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Who's gonna patronize a little bitty 2x4 kind of store anymore?
What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where do you get it?
Not the Model T at all. Take a gander at the store, at the Modern store, at the present-day store, at the present-day Modern departmentalized grocery store.
What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where do you get it?
What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where do you get it?
You can talk, you can bicker. You can talk, you can bicker. You can talk, bicker, you can talk. Oh, you want it, but it's different than it was.
No, it ain't, but you gotta know the territory.
Why is the you need a biscuit made the trouble? The you need to put the crackers in a package. The you need a biscuit in an airtight sanitary package made the Cracker Barrel obsolete.
Obsolete.
Cracker Barrel went at the mail patch cut plug charm by the stove. Seems the approach of a traveling salesman made it pretty hard.
No, it didn't, but you gotta know the territory.
Gone.
Gone with the hogshead, cask and jemmy. Gone with the sugar barrel, pickle barrel, milk pan. Gone with the tub and the pan and the tears.
Ever meet a fella by the name of Hill?
Hill?
Hill.
Hill?
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 Hill! No!
No.
Just a minute.
Never heard of any salesman Hill.
Now he doesn't know the territory.
Doesn't know the territory?
What's the fella's line?
Never worries about his line.
Never worries about his line?
Or the Cracker Barrel being obsolete. Or the you need a biscuit in an airtight sanitary package. Or the Model T Ford.
Just a minute.
Never worries about his line.
Never worries about his line?
Or a doggone thing. He's just a bang, beat, bell ringing, big haul, great go, neck or nothing, rip roaring, every time a bullseye salesman. That's Professor Harold Hill.
Tell us, what's his line?
He's a fake and he doesn't know the territory.
Look, what do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
He's a music man.
He's a what? He's a
music man, and he sells clarinets to the kids in the town with the big trombones and the rat-a-tat drums and the big brass bass, and the piccolo, uniforms too, with a shiny gold braid on a coat and a big red stripe, Ryan.
Well, I don't know much about bands, but I do know you can't make a living selling big trombones. No, sir. Mandolin picks, perhaps, and here and there a juice harp.
No, the fella sells bands. Boys' bands. I don't know how he does it, but he lives like a king, and he dallies, and he gathers, and he plucks, and he shines, and when the man dances, certainly, boys, what else? The piper pays him. Yes, sir. When the man dances, certainly, boys, what else? The piper pays him.
Yes,
sir. Yes, sir.
Doesn't know the territory.
River City. Across the state line to Iowa, River City, population 2212. Cigarettes illegal in the state.
All right, you're all through. I'll tell you about Harold Hill.
You really know Harold Hill?
Never saw him in my life, but I know this much. After he's worked the town over, the next salesman to arrive gets automatically tarred and feathered and rode out of the city limits on a rail. You think that's funny? Wait till it happens to you. Your hair never grows back.
But why should he get rode out of town on the rail?
Because in order to sell band instruments and uniforms and instruction books, he has to guarantee to teach the kids to play.
Well?
And form them kids into a band with himself as the leader.
Now, what's wrong with that?
He don't know a note from another note, that's what's wrong with that. And he doesn't know a bass drum from a pipe organ. I'll catch up with that swindling two-bit thimble rigger, and when I do, I'll...
Wow, you're mad, Charlie. Sure like to be around when you catch up with that fella.
Well, it won't be on this trip. Not in Iowa. Even the great Professor Harold Hill wouldn't dare try to sell them neck-bowed Hawkeyes out here.
Boy!
Gentlemen, you intrigue me. I think I'll give
Don't believe I caught your name.
Don't believe I dropped it.
The mysterious man flashes his suitcase, which says, Professor Harold Hill. We now enter the center of River City, Iowa. Mayor Shin is seen entering from the billiard parlor just as workmen pass him carrying a very large crate.
Good morning, neighbor. Can you kindly direct me to the center of town?
You're standing in it.
Excuse me, friends. Where might I find a good hotel?
Try the Palmer House. In Chicago.
Pardon me, ma'am. I'm a stranger in your town. What do you folks do around here for excitement?
Mind our business.
Well, you certainly know how to make a fellow feel at home.
Oh, there's nothing halfway about the Iowa way to treat you when we treat you.
Which we may not do at all.
There's an Iowa kind, a special chip on the shoulder attitude we've never been without.
That we recall. We can be cold as a falling thermometer in December if you ask weather in July. And we saw by the and touch and news as far a week at a time and never see eye to eye.
What the heck? You're welcome. Join us at the picnic. You can have your fill of all the food you bring yourself.
Got to give Iowa a try.
Provided you are contrary.
Good morning, Mayor Shin.
Well, what is if you want to go around in your drawers all day?
And there I was in the Madison Hospital, and nobody come to see me. Cousin Will never come. Aunt Bertha never come.
Your Aunt Bertha's dead.
She wouldn't have come anyway. And they called us our falling thermometer in December if you ask about our weather in July.
We can stand, touch, and nose as far a week at a time and never see eye to eye.
But we'll give you
And a back to go with it.
If your crop should happen to die.
What the heck? Oh, well, we may not ever mention it again.
You really ought to give Iowa. Iowa.
Dubuque, Des Moines, Davenport, Marshalltown, Mason City, Keokuk, Haines, Clear Lake.
Ought to give Iowa. Mr. Squires. Yes, I'm interested in a rig for Sunday, if you could accommodate me.
Then I expect you ought to see the fella in charge of a hiring rigs, who is late, as usual.
Hey, Gregory!
Marcellus!
You old son of a gun, what in the world are you doing here? Shh. But Greg.
Professor Hill's the name. Harold Hill.
But Greg, why didn't you let me know he was coming?
I didn't know I was myself. Besides, how could I know you end up in a little tank town like this? You were a pretty big slugger when you were in business with me.
Too many close shaves the way you work. Besides, I got myself a nice, comfortable girl. Ethel Tofflemile, boss's niece.
Gone legitimate, huh? I knew you'd come to no good.
What's the pitch? Oh no, you're not back in the band business, are ya? I thought you was in a steam automobile.
I was.
What happened?
Somebody actually invented one.
No.
Give me the lowdown here, Morse.
You'll never get anywhere with these stubborn islands, Greg. Besides, we got stuff on music teacher here who'll expose you before you get your grip unpacked.
Male or female?
The music teacher? She's the librarian. Female.
Perfect. That's what I wanted to hear. If she passes by, point her out to me.
Got it. So how you gonna start the pitch?
The same old way. Keep that music teacher off balance, and then my next step will be to get your town out of the serious trouble it's in.
But River City isn't in any trouble.
Then I'll have to create some. I have to create a desperate need for a boys' band. You remember. Now, what's new around here? What can I use?
Nothing. Except the billiards players put in a new pool table.
You never had a pool table here before?
Nope, only billiards.
That'll do. See you later, Morris. And don't forget, music teacher.
Music teacher.
Ah, you're Mr. Dunlop.
Yep.
Either you're closing your eyes to a situation you don't wish to acknowledge, or you are not aware of the caliber of disaster indicated by the presence of a pool table in your community. Well, you got trouble, my friend. Right here, I say trouble right here in River City. Why, sure, I'm a billiard player, certainly mighty proud to say, I'm always mighty proud to say it. I consider the hours I spend with the pool in my hand are golden. I have to cultivate horse sense, and a cool head, and a keen eye. Have you ever taken try to give an ironclad leap to yourself from a 3-rail billiard shot? But just as I say, it takes judgment, brains, and maturity to score in a ball-blind game. I say they need boo. Can take and shove a ball in a pocket. And I call that sloth, the first big step on the road to the depths of degradé. Say first, it's a little medicinal wine from a teaspoon. Then beer from a bottle. And the next thing you know, your son is playing for money in a pinchback suit. And listen to some big out-of-town Jasper hear him talk about horse race gambling. Well, some trot race no, but a race where they sit him down riding a horse. Like to see some stuck-up jockey boy sitting on Dan, Patchmake, and Bud Doyle? Well, I should say. Now, friends, let me tell you what I mean. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pockets to the table. Pockets that mark the difference between a gentleman and a bum, with a capital B and that rhymes with P and that stands for pool. And all week long, your River City youth will be frittering away. Say, your young men will be frittering. Frittering away their noontime, supper time, tour time too. Get the ball in the pocket, never mind getting dandelions pulled to the screen door catcher, the beefsteak pounded. Never mind pumping any water till your parents are caught with the cistern empty on a Saturday night, and that's trouble. Yes, you got lots and lots of trouble. I'm thinking of the kids in the knickerbocker, short-tailed young ones. In the pool hall one day after school, you got trouble. Folks right here in River City. Trouble with a capital T and that rhymes with P and that stands for pool. Now I know all you folks are the right kind of parents. I'm going to be perfectly frank. Would you like to know what kind of conversation goes on while they're loafing around the hall? They'll be trying out Bevo, trying out Q-Webs, trying out tailor-mates like cigarette fiends, and bragging all about how they're going to cover up the telltale breath with the sunset. One fine night, they'll leave for the pool hall, heading for the dance at the armory, libertine men and scarlet women and ragtime. Shameless music that'll drag your son and your daughter to the arms of the jungle, animal instinct, mass hysteria. Friends, the idle brain is the devil's playground. Trouble. Right here in River City. With a capital T and that rhymes with P and that stands for pool. We've surely got trouble. Right here in River City. Keeping my finger on a way to keep the young ones moral after school. Mothers of River City. Heed that warning before it's too late. Watch for the telltale signs of corruption. The moment your son leaves the house, does he rebuckle his knickerbockers below the knee? Is there a nicotine stain on his index finger? A dime novel hidden in the corn crib. Is he memorizing jokes at a Captain Billy's whiz bang? Or certain words creeping into his conversations? Words like swell and so's your old man. Well, if so, my friends, we got trouble right here in River City with a capital T that rhymes with P and that stands for pool. We've surely got trouble right here in River City. Remember the Maine, Plymouth Rock, and the Golden Rule. Oh, we got trouble. We're in terrible, terrible trouble. That game with the 15-numbered ball is the devil's tool. We got trouble, trouble, trouble. With a T, gonna rhyme with P, and that stands for pool.
We now move to the Peru home. An 8-year-old girl sits practicing the piano while Mrs. Peru listens from the porch. Marion enters as the scene begins.
That's you, Dapper.
Yes, Mama. Keep on, Amaryllis. I'll be there in a minute. Hello, Mama. Fine, dear, Nary exercises.
Yes, ma'am. I don't remember the library being open last 4th of July.
It was, Mama. All evening. Mama, a man with a suitcase has been following me all over town.
Oh? Who?
I never saw him before.
Did he say anything?
He tried.
Did you say anything?
Mama, of course not. Now don't dawdle, Amaryllis. So, do, la, re, ti, mi, a little slower, and please keep the fingers as curved and nice and high as you possibly can. Don't get faster, dear.
If you don't mind my saying so, it wouldn't have hurt you to find out what the gentleman wanted.
I know what the gentleman wanted.
What there?
You'll find it in Balzac.
Excuse me for a living, but I've never read it.
Neither has anyone else in this town.
There you go again with that same old comment about the low mentality of River City people and taking it all too much to heart.
Now, Mama, as long as the Madison Public Library was entrusted to me for the purpose of improving River City's cultural level, I can't let my concern that the ladies of River City keep ignoring all my counsel and advice.
But, darling, when a woman's got a husband and you've got none, why should she take advice from you? Even if you can't quote Balzac and Shakespeare and all the other highfalutin Greeks.
Mama, if you don't mind me saying so, you have a bad habit of changing every subject.
I haven't changed the subject. I was talking about that stranger.
What stranger?
The suitcase, who may be your very last chance.
Mama, do you think I'd allow a common master now? Really, Mama, I have my standards where men are concerned, and I have no intentions.
Well, about your standards, and if you don't mind my saying so, there's not a man alive who could hope to measure up to that blend of Paul Bunyan, St. Pat, and Noah Webster you've concocted for yourself out of your Irish imagination, your Iowa stubbornness, and your library full of books.
Well, if it isn't the best I've ever heard. Amaryllis, can you speak up a little bit, please?
Can I have a drink, please?
May I have a?
May I have a drink, please?
Yes, dear.
Winthrop? It's after dark. Is that the way to walk into the house? That won't do it all. I'll have a kiss from my boy. And the lady over there is your sister, young man.
Hello, Winthrop.
Winthrop, where's your manners?
I'm having a party on Saturday. Will you please come? I'd especially like it very much if you'd come. Winthrop?
Well, Winthrop, Amaryllis asked you to our party. Are you going or aren't you?
No.
No what?
No, thank you.
You know the little girl's name.
He won't say Amaryllis because of the S. Because of his lisp. He's ashamed.
We know all about his lisp, Amaryllis. Well, Winthrop?
I'll bet he won't say it.
No, thank you, Amaryllis.
Amaryllis. Amaryllis. He's crying. Why does he get so mad at people? Just because he lisps.
It's not only because he lisps, Amaryllis. That's just a part of it.
What's the other part?
Never mind, dear. It's just he never really talks very much.
Not even to you and your mother?
No, dear. We all have to be a little patient sometimes.
I'm patient, even though he doesn't ever talk to me. But I do him. Every night, I say goodnight to him on the evening star. You have to do it the very second you see it too, or it doesn't count. Good night, my Winthrop. Good night. Sleep tight.
No, darling, don't cry. If not Winthrop, there'll be someone else.
Never. I want a little babe like you. I'm sorry, Miss Marion. Can I play my crosshand piece?
May I
May
play?
I play my crosshand piece?
You may.
See, without a sweetheart, you have no one to say goodnight to on the evening star.
I know, Amaryllis. For now, just say goodnight, my someone. You can put the right someone's name when the right someone comes along.
All right. It's better than nothing.
Yes, it is. Now you can play your crosshand piece.
Now I may play my crosshand piece.
Good night, my someone. Good night, my love. Sleep tight, my someone. Sleep tight, my love. Our star is shining, its brightest light. For good night, my love. For good night. Sweet dreams be yours, dear, if dreams there be. Sweet dreams to carry you close to me. I wish they may, and I wish they might. Now good night, my someone, good night. True love can be whispered from heart to heart. When lovers are parted, they say. But I must depend on a wish and a star, as long as my heart doesn't know who you are. Sweet dreams be yours, dear, if dreams there be. Sweet dreams to carry you close to me. I wish they may, and I wish they might. Now good night, my someone. Good night. Good night. Good night.
We now enter Madison Gymnasium in River City High. It is sparingly decorated with red, white, and blue bunting. The imposing figure of Eulalie McKechnie Shin is dressed as Columbia with a torch in her hand. Eulalie, of course, is the featured vocalist.
I'm sure we're all grateful to my wife, Eulalie McKechnie Shin, for leading the singing, and to J.C. Squires for his fine stereoptic and slides, and to Ethel Toffenmeyer, our fine piano. As Mayor of River City, I welcome you, River Citizens, to the 4th of July exercises set up for the indoors here at Madison Gymnasium, Town West. For school. For scoring. The members of the school board will now present a patriotic tableau.
Read that again. Look again.
Sorry. The members of the school board will not present a patriotic tableau. Some disagreement about costumes, I suppose. Instead, the Watanyi girls of the local wigwam of Hiawatha will present a spectacle. My wife, in which my wife, Eulalie McKechnie Shin, will take a leading part.
I will now count to 20 in the Indian tongue. Team, Feather. I'm shot! George, who shot me?
Who set off that cracker?
I know who did it. Tommy Giles did it. Tommy Giles did it. Yes, it was Tommy Giles.
Tommy Giles, I wouldn't leave if I was you.
Mrs. Shin will recover. No thanks to a certain young ruffian who is a disgrace to our city. 70. The Payne's fireworks spectacles, last days of Pompeii, will take place, providing the rain stops by 9:30. It'll be out to Madison Picnic Park in the farm meadow, across the creek from the pest house.
How can it be raining? Didn't the Gazette predict fair?
Sure did, Ewart. That's why we all prepared for a storm.
The Gazette is accurate most of the time, and you know it, JC.
You wouldn't last very long in a banking business being accurate most of the time. Yeah, at least I have not living.
Well, you know what I think? I think you wouldn't last very long.
25.
Order!
Number 8's late again tonight.
I make her early.
She's late, all right.
She's right on time. What's the matter with your watch?
Oh,
What's
come
the
on.
matter
She's
with
different.
your
What's the
watch?
matter?
Oh,
What's
you
the matter?
Won't stop bickering in public.
All in the world I said was...
Never mind. 80.
We heard there's a pool table in town.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Just a minute.
Well, is it a pool table or isn't it?
Will you allow me to get on with the exercises?
Don't want any more exercises till we get this pool table matter settled.
Let's protect our children. Resist sin and corruption. Smite the devil and keep our young boys pure. Friends, I can deal with this trouble, friends, with me, and this very with me, if you will. I'm Professor Harold Hill, and I'm here to organize the Professor Harold Hill, and I'm here to organize the River City Boys Band. Now think, my friends, how can any pool table ever hope to compete with a gold trombone? Rah, rah, rah-di-da-da-da-da-da. Remember, my friends, what a handful of trumpet players did to the famous table balls of Jericho. Oh, will your parlor walls come a-tumbling down? Oh, a band will do it, my friends. Oh, yes, I mean a boys' band. Do you hear me? I say Rivers has got to have a boys' band, and I mean she needs it today. Well, Professor Harold Hill's on hand, and Rivers is going to have a boys' band. As sure as the Lord made little green apples, and the band's going to be in uniform. John, Willie, Teddy, Fred, and you see the glimmer of crashing cymbals, the thunder of rolling drums, the shimmer of trumpets, ta-ta-da, and you'll feel something akin to the electric thrill I once enjoyed when Gilmore, Liberati, the great creator Pat Conway, W.C. Handy, and John Philip Sousa all came to town on the very same historic day. 76 trombones led the big parade, with 110 cornets close at hand. They were followed by rows and rows of the finest virtuosos, the cream of every famous band. 76 trombones caught the morning sun, with 110 cornets right behind. There were more than 1,000 reeds springing up like weeds. There were horns of every shape and kind. There were copper-bottomed timpani and horse platoon, thundering, thundering all along the way. Double bell euphoniums and big bassoons, each bassoon having his big fat say. There were 50 mountain cannon in the battery, thundering, thundering louder than before. Clarinets of every size and trumpeters soon improvise a full octave higher than the stars. Trombones hit the counterpoint, while 110 cornets blazed away. To the rhythm of march, 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 all the kids began to march, and they're marching still right today.
Men, this calls for emergency action. That man is he's a spellbinder. I haven't seen Iowa people get this excited since the night Frank Gotch and Strangler Lewis laid on the mat for 3.5 hours without moving a muscle. Never mind. I want his credentials. Grab that hoodlum. He almost blew up Mrs. Shin.
Thank you, Professor. Have to make an example of him. Ringleader, you know. What he does, the gang does.
Gilly Clyde, let me go.
You wild kid, ya. Hanging around my oldest girl. His father one of them day laborers south of town. You wild kid, ya. Was hanging down Main Street after my oldest girl last Sunday.
I wasn't either tagging.
Don't you contradict me. Oh, you little rascal.
We're just walking together. Gilly Clyde.
You watch your phraseology. I know what she's doing. My little Gracie's seen ya. Now you stay away from my oldest girl, or you'll hear me to who laid the rails. Hill, I'll talk to you Monday morning about this band thing over City Hall. 10 o'clock sharp. Men, I want that spellbinder's credentials.
Constable, I'll be responsible for the boy.
You don't know who this kid is. He's tough, and he's got his gang waiting outside.
Oh, be careful. Tommy, I'd like to talk to you about the band.
Oh, gee, Professor, that's for the little kids.
I'm not talking about you playing in the band. You're mechanically minded, aren't you? Ever do anything with perpetual motion?
Nearly had it a couple times.
You did? You're my man. Do you realize nobody has ever invented a music holder for a marching piccolo player? No place to hang the music.
Gilly Clyde, wonder where I could get some wire from.
Look in your cellar. That's where people keep wire. Tommy.
Sir?
Now, Constable, I'll show you how to break up a gang. Young lady, Miss, what's your name?
Zanita, I didn't have any idea you was beckoning to me. Ye gods!
Do you know Tommy Gilas?
Well,
Tommy, this is Zanita. Escort the young lady home.
Only excepting I'm not going home. I have to go to the library. Ye gods!
Then escort the young lady home by way of the library. By way of the candy kitchen.
Yes, sir. Do I have to?
You have to.
Yes, sir.
Professor, you're a bright young fellow. You made a couple mistakes, though.
Oh?
The mayor happens to own that billiard parlor and that new pool table.
Oh. What was my other mistake?
That's Zanita. She's the mayor's oldest girl.
Just a minute, Professor Hill. We'd like to have your credentials. We're the
Academic
school board.
certificates.
Nothing of the kind. We need letters and papers.
Make him put up a bond.
What am I hearing? Say, ice cream.
Ice cream. But I don't sing, young man, if that's what you're implying.
All right. Talk then. Down here.
Ice cream.
Talk slow.
Ice cream.
He's only sustained talking. Now you.
Ice cream.
Now you right here.
Ice cream.
Now you, sir.
Ice cream.
Ladies, from now on, you'll never see one of these men without the other three.
Oh, Professor, you're wrong. Why, they've hated each other for 15 years.
15 years.
Ice
cream.
Ice
cream. Ice cream.
So the school board now goes off to sing in 4-part harmony as Harold follows Marion into the library.
I don't suppose you live alone or anything.
No.
I've got wonderful cameras up at the hotel if you'd like to.
Mr. Hill.
Professor.
Professor of what? At what college do they give a degree to annoying women in the streets? Like a Saturday night rowdy at a public dance hall.
I wouldn't know about that. I'm a conservatory man myself. Gary, Indiana, gold medal class of all 5.
Even if that should be true, does that give you the right to follow me around wherever I go? Another thing, Mr. Hill, I'm not as easily mesmerized or hoodwinked as some people in this town. And I think it's only fair to warn you that I have a shelf full of reference books in which there might give me some very important information about you.
Mary that's into the library as Marcellus hurries in to catch Harold before he follows her.
Hey, Gregory!
Hi, Marcellus. And don't call me Greg. Scrumptious. 8 out of my hand the minute I tip my hat.
You did? Oh, did you cut the swing tonight? Even I thought you knew something about leading a band. Just like how you used to imitate that band concert fella back in Joplin.
Yeah, kid stuff. I'm in rare forms these days, son. Just you keep your eyes on me for the next 4 weeks.
4 weeks? It only used to take 10 days for the instruments to arrive.
It still does, but it takes 4 weeks for the uniforms.
Oh no, Greg, you're coming out of uniforms?
Uniforms and instruction books.
Instruction books? But you can't pass yourself off as a music teacher, not for any 4 weeks.
Mars.
Well, you don't know one note from another.
I have a revolutionary new method called the Think system, where you don't bother with notes.
But in 4 weeks, the people will want to hear music. You'll have to lead a band.
But when the uniforms arrive, they'll forget everything else. At least long enough for me to collect and leave. Oh, this is a refined operation, son. And I've got it timed right down to the last wave of the brakeman's hand to the last train out of town. And now, Mr. Washburn, if you'll excuse me.
Gonna line yourself a little canoodling, huh?
Well.
Say, I can fix you up with Ethel's sister. Lovely girl, teaches Sunday school.
No wide-eyed, eager, wholesome, innocent Sunday school teacher for me. That kind of girl spins webs no spider ever... Listen, boy. A girl who trades on all that purity merely wants to trade my independence for her security. Affirmative, she will file. Refers to marching down the aisle. No golden, glorious, gleaming, pristine goddess. No, sir. For no Diana do I play fun. I can tell you that right now. I snarl. I hiss. How can ignorance be compared to bliss? I spark. I fizz. For the lady who knows what time it is, I cheer, I rage. For the virtue I'm too late to save, the sadder Budweiser girl for me. Blushing, breathless baby doll baby. No, sir, that kind of child ties nuts. No sailor ever knew. Could take a chance. More adult romance. Young Miss Sue keeps resisting. All the time she keeps insisting. No wide-eyed, wholesome, innocent female. No, sir. Why, she's the fisherman. I'm the fish you see. Flop. I flinch. I shy. When the last with the delicate air goes by, I smile. I grin. When the gal with a touch of sin walks in, I hope, I pray for Hester to win just one more A, the sadder Budweiser girl for me. I flinch, I shy, when the last with the delicate air goes by, I smile, I grin, when the gal with a touch of sin walks in, I hope, I pray, for Hester to win just one more A, the sadder Budweiser girl's the girl for me. the sadder but wiser girl for me.
Oh, Professor Hill, we're all agog. Simply agog.
On the K-Vive.
Everyone's so excited about the band.
I'm at the Toffelmeyer, the pianola girl.
Oh, and Mrs. Squires and Mrs. Hicks. Oh, and of course you've met Miss Eulalie McKechnie Shin, our mayor's wife. Isn't it exciting, Eulalie?
Oh, I couldn't say. I could not say. Oh, no, I couldn't say at this time. My husband will wish to investigate, I'm sure. And naturally, I'm reticent. Oh, yes, I'm reticent.
Of course, Mrs. Shin, I understand. But you see, part of my music plans include a committee on the dance and... No, wait. Do that again, Mrs. Shin. Oh, your foot! The way you raised it just now.
Oh, well, I have a bunion there that bothers me.
Oh, what grace! What natural flow of rhythm! What expression of line and movement!
Oh, Mr. Hill!
Well, you must accept the chairmanship for the Ladies Auxiliary of the Classic Dance. Mustn't you, ladies?
Oh, Eulalie! Yes, please, Eulalie, you must.
Every move you make, Mrs. Shin, bespeaks Del Sar. Will you? Will you? Oh, say yes, Mrs. Shin.
Yes. Eulalie, say yes.
Eulalie McKechnie Shin. That is, well, I'm dancing well, I mean,
Then you accept?
Yes, indeed. And I would like to say that...
Thank you. Now, the young lady who plays the piano, Marion Peru, I believe. After all, she is a librarian.
She must have picked him out first crack out of the box.
Talking up to a man like that.
Take and talk up to her.
If she didn't take and try turkey talking to him.
Reason.
Oh, take her ticket and punch it for her.
Picked her off first, like crack like a cheap jack. Not much pick to her, if you ask me. Pick a little, talk a lot.
Pick a little, talk a little.
Cheap, cheap, cheap.
Talk a lot, talk a little more.
Pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheap, cheap, cheap. Talk a lot, pick a little more. Pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheap, cheap, cheap. Talk a lot, pick a little more. Pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheap, cheap, cheap. Talk a lot, pick a little more. Pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheap, 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 cheap. Pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheap, cheap, cheap. Talk a lot, pick a little more. Pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheap, cheap, cheap. Talk a lot, pick a little more. Chaucer. Beverly.
I'll tell. She made brazen overtures to a man who never had a friend in this town till she came here. Old Miser Madison.
Miser Madison.
Madison.
Madison Gymnasium, Madison Picnic Park, Madison Hospital. That Miser Madison?
Exactly. Who do you think he was, anyway?
Well, I should say. Show off. Gave the town the library, too, didn't he?
That's just it. When he died, he left the library building to the city.
But he left all the books to her.
He was seen going and coming from his place.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That woman made brazen overtures with a guilt-edged guarantee. She had golden glitz for eyes, a silver voice, a counterfeit brain. She smelt you down and your reveal, a lump of lead as cold as steel, here, where a woman's heart should be. He left her to see the library building, but he left all the books to her. Chaucer. Balzac.
Just a minute here, we need your credentials.
Oh, yes, of course.
Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. We're going to leave you now. Farewell, ladies. Farewell, ladies. Farewell, ladies. We're going to leave
to the library. Marion is at the desk stamping books. Harold sneaks in and cleverly places his hat under her stamper and begins to sing.
Marion. Marbles. 6 Steelies, 8 Aggies, a dozen Pewees, and 1 big lassie with an American flag in the middle. I think I'll draw.
No!
Madam Librarian, what can I do? My dear, to catch your ear, I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian. Marion, heaven help us, the library caught on fire, and the volunteer hose brigade men had to whisper the news to Marion. Madam Librarian, what can I say? My dear, to make it clear, I need you badly, badly, Madam Librarian. Marion, if I stumble and I busted my whatchamacallit, I could lie on your floor unnoticed, and my body had turned to carrion. Madam Librarian, now in the moonlight, a man could sit in the moonlight, and the fellow would know that his darling had heard every word of his song with the moonlight helping along. But when I try in here to tell you, dear, I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian, Marion, it's a long lost cause I can never win. For the civilized world accepts as unforgivable sin anytime you out loud with any librarian, such as Marion. The Ladies' Dance Company meets Tuesday nights. Madam Librarian, Marshmallow.
We now see Tommy and Harold the following Saturday at noon.
Well, Tommy, we've had a pretty good morning. 11 sales out of 12 tries. I'll tell you what, it's almost noon. Better go home and get some dinner. I'll try a couple by myself.
Goodbye, Professor.
Thanks, Tommy.
Now Harold approaches an impressive doorway and makes his presence known.
Here. Are you soliciting? You haven't got a license.
Oh, why no, Mayor Shin. I collect doorbells. Well, this particular specimen has an unusual tone quality that's
Flattery will not avail you. Soliciting is, well, it's statutory in this county. Malfeasance without a permit. Why haven't you been down to City Hall with your references?
I just missed you, Mr. Mayor! But oh no.
What? What is it?
Oh, that spread at the little finger. It's hereditary.
It is? What does that mean?
It means that your son's little finger is perfectly situated to operate the spit valve on a B-flat flugelhorn.
Is that good?
Good! It means that America has at last produced an artist who can flugel the minute waltz in 50 seconds.
How could I get one of those horns?
Signed here, Mr. Mayor. That'll be $17 import fee.
Why, yes. Just think, I could have missed this. I haven't got any son. Why, you unflippulous, you unscrupulous flew-by-night, you get me down City Hall with your by-God papers at 3 o'clock.
You mean this afternoon?
I couldn't make myself any plainer if I was a Quaker on his day off.
We now return to the Peru Porch. That very evening, as Harold visits Mrs. Peru, painfully shy Winthrop hides behind her chair as they talk.
Mrs. Peru, do you realize you have the facial characteristics of a cornet virtuoso?
I don't know if I understand you entirely, Professor.
If your boy has that same firm chin, those splendid cheek muscles, by George! Not that he could ever really be great, you understand, but,
Oh, and is that so? And in the name of St. Bridget, why not?
well, you see, all the really great cornet players are Irish. O'Clark, O'Mendez, O'Klein.
But, Professor, we are Irish!
No, really. Well, that clinched it. Sign here, Miss Prue. Your boy was born to play the cornet. Fine. That'll be $7 earnest money. Nothing more due to the first installment payable at opening of band practice. Thank you. And, of course, I'll need his boy's measurements for his uniform.
His uniform?
Hello, son. Well, certainly his uniform. And there won't be a penny due till delivery, which gives him 4 weeks to enjoy, to anticipate, to imagine. At no cost whatsoever. Never allow the demands of tomorrow to interfere with the pleasures and excitement of today.
Would it have
A stripe? Well, certainly, my boy. A wide red stripe on each side. What do you think of that?
You'll have to excuse Winthrop, Professor. We can't get him to say 3 words a day, even to us. And if you get him to play in that band, you'll have St. Michael's own way with ya. But if anybody can do it, I bet you can. Out of a crowd, I'll pick ya for a hod-carrying, clay-pipe-smoking, shamrock-wearing, harp-playing, maneuver-pinting, terra-hull, minstrel-singing Irishman. Be Gavin, be jabbers, where you from, me bye?
Gary, Indiana.
I knew it, Gary. Where did you say?
Gary, Indiana. In fact, Gary Conservatory was my alma mater.
Where's she now?
Yes, gold medal class of '05. How to do, Miss Peru?
How to do, Mr. Hill?
Of course, Peru. I thought the name sounded familiar. I've tried to see you since the other night, but...
Winthrop in the band.
We aren't interested, Mama.
But Marion, the boy might have his father's musical gift. He does have my jaw, you know.
Your husband musical? Well, I'd like to have a talk with him. I'm sure we could figure
Do you burst into everyone's business like this? Prying into personal affairs? We aren't interested.
Marion.
Well, that's 1 for and 1 against. Why not let the boy's father decide?
The boy's father is dead. Anything else?
Oh. I'm sorry. Oh, but that's all the more reason why your brother should have something like this.
My brother is a 10-year-old problem child who can't understand why his father's been taken from him. Do you care to explain to him? He's been brooding about it for 2 years. As for your musical tricks, how about you go into a business with some nice carnival man who sells gold-painted watches and glass diamond rings?
Musical tricks? Well, Miss Peru, I get the feeling she likes the idea. A little cautious, perhaps, but I admire that in a woman. Just keep me alive, and I'll be back later in the week.
One moment, Professor Hill. About the boy's measurements. I make all his clothes. Sleeve 21, shoulders 18, waist 18.
Fine. That's all I need. Now I must get back to the hotel.
Professor, I do hope you'll excuse Marion. She's not really the kind of person who...
Please, don't worry about a thing. I'm sure that at heart she's as lovely as yourself. Good day to you, Widow Peru.
Has he gone?
He has. And I hope not forever. Darling, don't you ever think of your future? Gary, Indiana, conservation class of '05. Now, darling.
Now, Mama, surely a girl's future doesn't depend on encouraging every fast-talking, self-centered, woman-chasing traveling man who comes to town. And the fact that he claims his commodity is music does not, in this case, impress me.
All right, darling, all right. Only it's a well-known principle that if you keep the flint in one drawer and the steel in another, you'll never strike much of a fire.
Mama! Winthrop? Winthrop, I know you're there. Please go to the library and ask Miss Grubb to give you the book I set aside. It's the Indiana State Educational Journal, 1890 to 1910. It's a large brown volume with black corners.
Do I have to?
You won't have to say a thing to anyone. I've written it all down. Thank you, dear.
Now, what are you up to? Why do you need books at this hour of the night?
I have a feeling that the Indiana Journal might help me poke some large holes into the professor's claims.
Well, I give up. At your age, if you don't mind my asking, just what kind of white knight do you expect to come riding along?
Well, I'm not waiting for Luther Griner, who backs me into the ancient history shelf every time he comes into the library.
He does?
Or Ed Gamage in that buggy of his with the removable back seat. But I'm not waiting for a man in shining white armor either. My white knight. Sorry. My white knight, not a Lancelot, nor an angel with wings, just someone to love me, who is not ashamed of a few nice things. My white knight, what my heart would say if I only knew how. Please, dear Venus, show me now. All I want is a plain man. All I want is a modest man, a quiet man, a gentleman, a straightforward and honest man to sit with me in a cottage somewhere in the state of Iowa, and I would like him to be more interested in me than he is in himself, and more interested in us than in me. And if occasionally he ponder what makes Shakespeare and Beethoven great, him I could love till I die. Him I could love till I die. My white knight, never Lancelot, nor an angel with wings, just someone to love me, who is not ashamed of a few nice things. My white knight, let me wait with him while the others ride by, walk and love him till I die, till
It is noon on the following Saturday, and the Wells Fargo wagon is about to arrive. The excitement in the town center is palpable.
Zanita! Hey, Zanita!
Tommy, Papa and Mom are sitting right there at the bank. Ye gods!
All right, and meet me after supper.
I can't. It's Epworth League night. Meet you where?
The footbridge.
You see, isn't that what I just said? Last time the lumberyard and now the footbridge. And where will you meet me after that? The black hole of Calcutta? Ye gods!
I only want to show you my invention.
What invention?
My music holder for a marching-low piccolo player. See, it still has a couple minor flaws. When you keep it tight enough to hold the music steady, it cuts off your circulation. You can't wiggle your fingers. Meanwhile, you go blind.
Tommy!
Is that the first thing I said or not?
Yes, George.
Yes. Very first thing I said, or I'll eat hay with the horse. Yeah. Get that spellbinder's credentials, I said. Morning of July 4th, 1912. And now look. My wife is off dancing at any and all hours of the day, instead of in the home, and but the school board.
George!
The school board is up street and down alley instead of tending to city matters. My oldest girl she's boodling around with some wild kid. My business has fallen off so far I can't find the balance sheet.
Mayor Shin, I found something very interesting in this book about Professor Hill's alma mater.
His who?
Oh, his university?
Oh, I know all about that. In fact, that's the only thing I can usually ever get out of him. Gary Conservatory, class of odd fun.
If you'll just take the time and read a little bit about the conservatory, I don't think you'll have to look very far. It's just on page... Oh, let me...
The Wells Fargo wagon is just coming up from the depot.
The Wells Fargo wagon?
At this hour of the day...
It could be the band instrument. Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon, it is coming down the street. Oh, please let it be for me.
Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the street. I wish I knew what it could be.
In March I got a Mackinac.
And once I got some grapefruit from Tampa. Montgomery Ward sat in the bathtub and across the saw.
Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming now. It's in a print. Surprise of COD.
Or dishes.
Or it could be. Yes, you're right, it surely could be. Something special coming very. Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the street. Oh, don't let it pass my door.
Oh, how the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the street. I wish I knew what he was coming for.
I got some salmon from Seattle last September.
And I expect a new rocking pair. I hope the weather isn't so special.
The D.A.R.C. the cannon bomb the
Wells Fargo wagon is coming now. I don't know how. Ever wait to be. He's something for someone who is not really what it could be. With you, just for me. Fargo wagon, keep a coming. Oh, you Wells Fargo wagon, keep it coming.
Wells Fargo wagon, don't you dare to make us stop. Will you stop?
It's the band instruments.
Here you are, Winthrop.
My cornet. Gee, thanks, Professor.
Men, you will each receive individual instruction in due course. In the meantime, stay off the streets, get acquainted with your instruments, and think about the minuet in G. La-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da.
La-di-da, la-di-da. Sister, isn't this the most scrumptious solid gold thing you ever saw? I never thought I'd see something so scrumptious as a solid gold thing. Oh, sister.
Round one for you, Mr. Hill. But I better hear some by God tootin' out of them horns. Pretty short order, or I'll see you in front of the grand jury over at the county seat. Now, Miss Marion, about that book.
I'm George Templars Fugees.
You watch your phraseology. Get along if you want to. I've got to get something from the librarian. About that book.
Ladies' Dance Committee meets Tuesday nights at the high school.
Here's thing is still sitting there. Some people have
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
We now have a 10-minute intermission. Oh, thank you, Ryan. What a beautiful.
Yay, get snacks.
And we will see you in 10 minutes. You'll hear the on track come back online. Thank you.
So is that
Okay, I think that.
Then I can.
Yeah.
If you do.
There we go.
Medicine.
Nathaniel!
Oh my gosh. We're the only people on video right now.
We're all the people on video?
Walter,
Who is
background,
Walter?
Walter background.
Hi, Walter.
Bring back Walter.
You guys are doing such a good job.
I hope so.
You are.
Before we start Act 2, just let me give you a reminder about the video setting to hide all non-participants. It says hide non-video participants, and it's in the video settings over on the left at the bottom where it says start video, so that if you so you won't be seeing all those little black squares. All right, we're going to be starting up right away, and make sure your video and your audio are on mute. All right, so we will be starting pronto. We are returning to Madison Gymnasium. It is the following Tuesday, and the Ladies Auxiliary Committee is rehearsing their presentation for the Ice Cream Sociable. The vocal stylings of the school board accompany their dancing.
Remember, don't make me tell you again. Always keep your face to the audience. All right, Mr. Dunlop. Mr. Dunlop, are you ready?
The pitch pipe seems to be experiencing some technical difficulties. If you could start the we're working on it.
That is understandable, coming from a professional singer and dancer. I understand where you're coming from.
Thank you so much, Eulalie.
Yeah, of course.
It's you in my cup. It's you way into it's you in my cup. It's you all the way into town. It's your sweet hello, dear, that sets me up. And it's your got to go here that gets me down. It's you on my pillow in all of my dreams. Till once more the morning breaks through. What words could be saner or truer or plainer than it's you? It's you.
Smile, girl, smile.
Yes, it's you. Yes, it's you.
Please, kids, Machine will have my head.
Mr. Washburn, we are entitled to 5 more minutes.
If you think you can hold these kids back, go ahead.
Take your hands off my daughter.
Your Honor, your daughter and I are going steady behind your back.
Why, you little rascal.
We'd rather do it in front of your back, but we promised we wouldn't say.
Never mind.
Anita's scared of you, but I'm not. I sure hate you to have your own daughter scared of you. Jilly Cly.
I'm going to warn you once more. If I ever catch you touching my daughter, I'll by God horsewhip you till hell won't have it again.
Now, George.
Not one poop out of you, madam.
I think he means Peep.
Yes. And now you. Get out of this public building.
I got as much right in a public building as anybody.
Right. How do you get any right around here? Aiding and abetting the swindling activities of this spellbinding symbol salesman. You know what I see written all over you? Reform school. Now get out. Get out, you wild kid.
Papa, please. It's Capulets like you that make blood in the marketplace. Ye gods!
You watch your phraseology, young woman. Go home. Eulalie?
Oh, yes, George. I only wanted to...
Tend to your dance.
My dance, yes.
I'll handle Zanita. Taking up with wild kids from the wrong side of town.
Mr. Mayor, if I could just help you understand that they meant...
Yeah. And by the way, thanks for nothing. I've read that book you gave me cover to cover for a whole week now and didn't find a thing.
Mr. Mayor, if you please.
I'll settle your hash as soon as I get these premises off my oldest girl. Yes.
All right, but in the meantime, I want you to know I'm vouching for Tommy Chilas. That boy's got the confidence of every kid in town. You'll be standing in line to shake his hand by the time our band plays its first concert.
By the time your band plays its first concert, the individual members will have to foregather in wheelchairs on account of the broken legs they'll get from tripping over their beards. I'll tell you something, my feathered... Never mind! Oliver, Stacy, Ewart, Olin, I want this man's references and I want him tonight. Don't let him out of your sight. He's slipperier than a Mississippi sturgeon.
You mean you want us to get his credentials?
Get his papers or get him in jail. I couldn't make myself any clearer if I was a button hook in the well water.
Professor Hill, I think Mayor Shin acted abominably, and I believe it was wonderful that you came to Tommy's defense.
That was nothing.
Well, yes, it was.
No, a man can't dodge the issue every time a little personal risk is involved. What does the poet say? The coward dies 1,000 deaths. The brave man only 500. Unfortunately, of course, the mayor was already pretty mad on account of this billiard parlor. Now, I suppose a recommendation from a musical authority like yourself would help, but I couldn't think of asking you to do a little thing like that.
But why, Professor Hill?
You would?
I'd be glad to. I just wish I was a little more informed. I've been meaning to ask you about Winthrop's cornet.
His cornet?
Well, I'm sure it's fine, but you see, he never touches it. Oh, the first week or so, he made some experimental blats, I guess you could say.
Yes, blats.
And he sings the minuet and G-dee-da almost constantly.
La-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da. La-dee-da, la-dee-da.
I see, he never touches the cornet.
Well, you see.
He says you told him it wasn't necessary.
Well,
he tells me something about a think system. If he thinks the minuet in G, he won't have to bother with the notes. Well, now, Professor, you see...
Marian, the think system is a revolutionary method, I'll admit. So was Galileo's conception of the heavens, Columbus's conception of the egg, globe, Bach's conception of the well-tempered clavichord. Now, I cannot discuss these things here in public, but if you allow me to call, when may I call?
Why, any night this week.
It's just after supper on the following Wednesday evening. The newly deputized school board is hot on the trail of Professor Harold Hill.
Sorry, Professor, but we got our orders. We all been deputized.
Yes, congratulations. Let's see now. You know, all week I tried to give you fellows my references and credentials, but every time you seem to get off the subject somehow. Now, I have just what you want up at my hotel room. Take a second.
Sorry, Fredo will have to go along with you.
Yes, well, let's see if I have my key. What's this? Oh, a testimonial from Madame Rini, the only female bassoon player ever to appear on the Red Path circuit. Her stage name, of course. Actually, she was from Moline. Lyda Rose Quackenbush.
Could I see that for a minute?
Oh, you'll never forget the name. Lyda Rose. Famous old song. Lyda Rose, I'm home again, Rose.
Get the sun back in the sky. Lyda Rose, I'm home again, Rose, about 1,000 kisses shy.
tell you, but only when we dream again. Sweet and low, sweet and low, how sweet that memory, how long ago, forever, oh yes, forever, will I ever tell you? Ah, no. Dream of now, dream of then, dream of a love song that might have been. Do I love you? Oh yes, I love you, and I'll bravely tell you, but only when we dream again. Sweet and low, sweet and low, how sweet that memory, how long ago, forever, oh yes, forever, will I ever tell you? Oh no.
Will you ever stop arguing with yourself? Will you ever tell him? Won't you ever tell him? Ah, yes. Ah, no. Ah, fiddlesticks. Just open your mouth and let it come out.
Well, now, Mama, there's
nothing. If he ever comes to call again, you see him alone. And if you haven't the gumption to tell him how you feel, then
tell him.
Well, there's nothing wrong with a ladylike hint. Winthrop, where have you been?
Fishing.
Fishing?
With Harold.
You mean Professor Hill?
Mm-hmm. And look, I still have some worms left.
Did you have a good time?
Scrumptious. He told me all about his hometown, Gary, Indiana. And he said he'd take me there someday. And he taught me a song that hardly had any S's in it. Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, let me say it once again. Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, the town that knew me when. If you'd like to have a logical explanation, how I happened on this elegant syncopation, I will say without a moment of hesitation, there is just one place that can light my face. Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, not Louisiana, Paris, France, New York, or Rome. But Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, my home, sweet home. If you'd like to have a logical explanation, how I happened on this elegant syncopation, I will say without a moment of hesitation, there is just one place that can light my face. Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, not Louisiana, Paris, France, New York, or Rome. But Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, my home, sweet home. I'll be back in a minute. Amarillo smell-eyed frog.
Leave the dishes. I'll do them, Mama.
Don't you have to change for the sociable?
There's time later.
Shins live around here somewhere?
The Shins' home is on East Elm. This is West Elm.
I see you're the piano teacher in town. You must know about this fella Hill forming a boys band here.
Yes.
Well, don't let it worry you no more. I got the goods on him in spades, swindling two-bit thimble rigger. That's why I got to see Shin. I'm just passing through. The number 8 only makes a 15-minute water stop. Wish it was 20, Would sure like to concentrate 5 minutes on you, girly girl.
Who are you?
Name's Charlie Cal, Anvil salesman. But just now I'm out to protect the good name of the traveling fraternity from this swindler.
Mr. Cowell, you're making a huge mistake.
Mistake my old lady's corset cover. That hill's been the raspberry seed in my wisdom tooth just long enough. He ruined Illinois for me, and he's not going to ruin Iowa. Say, what kind of music teacher are you? You didn't see through him. He's no more professor than...
I know all about that. Band leaders are always called professor. It's a harmless misconception, and he's a fine director.
Wait a minute. Have you heard one note from any band?
No, but I will.
Girly girl. He's never formed a band in his life, and he never will.
Well, if you just listen to me for a minute.
I'd like to. I'd like to do more than that if I had the time. I sure got the inclination. But I gotta leave word, and I gotta get it on the way to the depot. Bye, girly girl.
You'll never make it to the train at the depot. Crossing.
No, sir. I've got to leave word, and I can see you ain't the one to leave it with.
Well, just a minute, Mr. Cowell. You don't know me yet.
Is that an invitation?
No, I mean, I don't know you, and...
Yes, I would need more time anyway.
Well as I'd like to.
Well, no trouble there, girly girl.
I've never met a man who sells anvils before. That's quite different.
He's a real salesman, I can tell you that. Anvils have a limited supply. I miss that train, I'll lose my job, and I have to leave word about that fellow Hill.
Leave word with me.
Not on your tin type. How do I know you deliver these letters?
Try me.
To prevent him, she kisses him right on the lips.
There's a train, now run for it.
Why, you double-dealing little... You're protecting. That guy's got a girl in every county in Illinois, and that's 102 counties, not including the music teachers like you he cozies up to keep their mouths shut. Neither one of you seen the end of me, girly girl.
Marion! Marion, dear. Who was you talking to just... Why, Professor Hill.
Miss Peru? Top of the evening, Marion.
You and Marion come up on the porch and set. I've got some jelly on the stove.
There's no jelly on the stove, Mama.
Well, I'll put some on.
Shall we set, as your mother said?
Well,
You did ask me to call.
Did I? I didn't mean anything by that, really.
Now, Miss Marion, I'm not suggesting your invitation for anything but academic enlightenment. The Think system. I've been by your house to explain it a time or two this week, but there always seem to be people around.
Yes, Mrs. Squires and several of the ladies.
I'm glad. Wouldn't want anybody beating my time. You wouldn't? No, man. Well, it's evidently not a convenient night. You at the sociable later.
Professor Hill, is it true that you've had 100... What I'm trying to say is...
Yes?
Is it true that you've developed a think system?
What? A think system? Oh, yes, it's really very simple. As simple as whistling. Nobody has to show you how you use your lips in whistling. You only have to think a tune and have it come out clearly here. Now, just try it yourself before you ask any questions.
I take your word.
Can we sit down?
Are all music teachers as dense as I am?
All music teachers?
Well, I dare say you meet dozens, even 100.
Well,
Have they all been as fascinated as I have with the think system?
Some more, some less. One young lady had thought up the same system before I got to her team. She showed me a few refinements.
I see.
Have I said something wrong?
Please don't let me keep you, Professor Hill. You must have much important things to do than explain the think system to me.
Can't think of one.
Well, and I must be very dull company for a man of your experience.
Now say, where'd you get an idea like that?
One hears rumors of a traveling salesman.
Now, Miss Marion, you mustn't believe everything you hear. After all, one even hears rumors about librarians.
I suppose you're referring to Uncle Matty?
Uncle Matty?
Mr. Madison, my father's best friend. No matter what they say, he left me an assured job so that Mother Winthrop and I could have some security. Well, surely you don't believe everything.
Of course not. That's exactly what I'm saying. But why do you think people start these rumors?
Narrow-mindedness? Jealousy? Jealousy mostly, I guess.
Exactly. And jealousy mostly starts rumors about traveling salesmen. What have you heard?
Oh, nothing about you personally, just generally.
What have you heard generally?
Just that. But of course it stands to reason that narrow-mindedness and jealousy can lead to, well, I mean, take you for instance, your intentions to customers and well, the teachers might easily be misinterpreted, mightn't they? Well, I mean, honestly now, mightn't they?
Why?
And so you say if another salesman or someone were jealous, well, they could be downright lies, couldn't they?
What could?
Rumors and things.
Oh, why, of course.
It just proves that you can never believe everything you hear, doesn't it? Well, I mean, if you discuss things, then...
Miss Marion, I would be delighted to discuss anything in the world with you. But couldn't we do it sitting down? You do sit. Your knees bend and all.
We could sit on the porch steps.
We could also sit on the large hollow log over the footbridge.
I couldn't think of it. I've never been to the footbridge with a man in my life before.
Just to talk.
I've got to dress for the sociable.
Meet me there in 15 minutes.
I just can't, please. Some other time, maybe tomorrow?
My dear little librarian, I'll open up tomorrow's and you find you've collected nothing but a lot of empty yesterdays. I don't know about you, but I'd like to make tonight worth remembering.
Oh. So would I.
The footbridge. 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Mama!
What?
I just told Professor Hill I'd meet him at the footbridge in 15 minutes.
Glory be and saints be praised, it works!
What does?
I've been using the Think system on you from the parlor.
The ice cream sociable is in full swing and the teenagers are ready to lead the dancing. Shapoopy!
Start her up, Mr. Washburn. Wait till you see the new steps Professor Hill taught us.
All right, what'll it be?
The Shapoopy!
Now one who kissed me very first date is usually a husky. And one who kissed me second time out is that anything but fussy. But a woman who waits a certain time around, head in the clouds, steam on the ground. She's the only planet found when she's going to movie. So poopy, so poopy, so poopy. Let the girl who's point to death. So poopy, so poopy, so poopy. But you can't win her yet. Walk her once, raise the curtain, then you walk around twice, and make the curtain once more in the class. Regardless, she will never get through if you bed recording. Go, baby, cross the watching child, you on your body, right? Treat her once and she can. You get a green back that way. She's again one more for her. Forever, she will never get through on the way to supper. Go, baby, cross the watching child, you go. So, without anyone to see. Look at her now, she's a go gal who always goes for me. Wave her once and see. Looking if you get a sweet back that thing. She's giving one more for a pet. Forever she will never get sore on the way to supper. So keep off the watching go. You go. Shapoopy, shapoopy, shapoopy. That girl is hard to get. Shapoopy, shapoopy, shapoopy. But you can win her yet.
Thank you.
Oh, we are now at the footbridge. Harold impatiently awaits Marion's arrival.
You for the rides. The kids are in them already. The people are going to be screaming for music. Those kids so small. I got most of the dough. I got Tommy. I got most of the dough. I got Tommy Cluckett. He's trying to hold up practice over everybody on lumberyard.
All right, Mars, get the rig.
Got it.
What time's the freight go?
9:40 from the junction.
It's not even 8:30 yet.
Look, you and Colonel Whirl around here and get yourself caught in the bunny trap. You go ahead, but I'm not going to stop you.
Worry, Mars. I'll meet you at the hotel in plenty of time. Miss Marion, you're late.
Oh, but you said 15 minutes.
I meant that you were about, well, I'd say about 26 years. Took you all this time to get to the footbridge with a fellow.
If you'd like to know, it was almost longer.
No?
Halfway here, I nearly turned back. I suppose I'm not the first to find it easier to think when not under the spell of your salesmanship.
Miss Marion, surely you don't think I've been selling you anything?
No. No, you've given me something. And that's why I decided to come.
I don't recall giving you anything.
Oh, yes, you have. Something wonderful. And that's why I came, and I'm glad. Oh, please don't be afraid that I expect too much more. One can't expect a traveling salesman to stay put. Well, I know there have been many ports to call, and there will be many more. But that's no reason for me not to be grateful for what you left behind for me.
Marion,
Shh. There were bells on a hill, but I never heard them ringing. No, I never heard them at all, till there was you. There were birds in the sky, but I never saw them winging. No, I never saw them at all, till there was you. And there was music, and there were wonderful roses. They tell me in sweet, fragrant meadows of dawn and dew, there was love all around, but I never There was love all around, but I never heard it sing. No, I never heard it at all, till there was you.
Marion, there's a lot of things you don't know about me. Excuse me. I'm expecting a call from Hector Berry. This could be it. Now what?
Who's the salesman here? Sounds like she's selling and you're buying.
You nuts! I didn't know I was going to be able to leave tonight. I had to keep her off balance, didn't I? I told you.
We're off balance now. You can't tell from a catboat in a hurricane.
Listen, Buster Brown, I've come up through the ranks on this skirmish. I'm not resigning without my commission.
But Craig, you can't get anywhere out here in the footbridge.
There's a place over at Masson Park, near the Sociable. It makes this footbridge look like the old ladies' home. Now beat it. Go get the rig. Never a peaceful moment in show business. Now then, where were we?
You were about to tell me everything I don't know about you.
Yeah. Well, we really don't have to get into that just now, do we?
No, we don't. Or ever, for that matter, Harold. The librarian hasn't felt like doing much research lately, but she did plenty when he first arrived.
Oh. About what?
Oh, about Professor Harold Hill, Gary Conservatory of Music, gold medal class of '05. Harold. There wasn't any Gary Conservatory in '05.
Why, there certainly was.
Because the town wasn't built until '06. I'll see you at the sociable.
You knew all the time?
Since July 7th, 3 days after you came. I tore this page out of the Indiana Journal. It was originally intended to use against you, but now I give it to you with all my heart.
But if you knew, why didn't you... Why, you little...
Greg, this guy's crazy. He's going all over town stealing everything.
Oh, say I'm crazy. Missed my train, probably lost my job. But I got you now, Hill, and you'll pay. You'd been in the clink right now had it been for that piano teacher. I told her all about you, and what'd she do? Lily gags me around till I couldn't get to shin. Little dried-out, man-hungry, doxy, round heel is...
Get out of here or I'll kill you, you dirty mouth!
You bully! You big blow-off! I'll stay in this town till you get yours up, down, through, and sideways. Why? You never even knew the territory.
Here's your stuff, Greg. The race in the alley. Come on, hurry up!
But Professor Hill stands not moving. And we now direct our attention to the Madison Picnic Park. It is finally time for the Ladies Auxiliary to dazzle us with their Grecian urn display. Let's watch.
Stop! Listen to this man!
You gullible green grass goats! Can't you get it through your heads that you're being swindled out of your eye teeth right now? This minute? There's a burglar in the bedroom while you're fiddling in the parlor. I'm talking about Harold Hill. Road agent, highwayman, pickpocket.
Pickpocket?
Same thing. He's had his hand in your wallet, mister, and yours, madam, and even yours, little lady, ever since the first moment he came to this town. There is more documented evidence than there will ever be time to read. There never was any band, there never will be any band. He never had any band. And if you don't hunt this man down right now like a mad dog, there won't be any Harold Hill either. He'll be on the next train out of town.
Now, will you believe me?
Well, what are we waiting for?
I want my money back.
Money back? I want his hide.
After him. And when you find him, bring him to the schoolhouse. After him. Try the low road. Back by the creek, try the mill. Back by the privy.
I think we should split up.
I'll look by the footbridge.
That doesn't sound like a very good place to look.
Do we have to? I'm tired.
New plan. Just follow me.
Well, hurry up before he gets away. Children, come along now.
We're going the wrong way.
Train's that way.
You do as you are told. Now come along.
Yes, ma'am.
Get out of my way, you slowpokes.
Understand how he fell for his tricks.
He's kind of handsome.
Handsome? Ew, you're crazy.
He's 100 years old.
Enough of that. Let's find the varmint.
Marion, I've been looking all over for you. Where have you been?
Harold, I've been looking for Winthrop. He's run away. Please go, Harold. Please. They're even talking about tar and feathers and...
I had to see you, Marion.
It's all right. Don't you know that? You don't know me a word. Not a word. Now please go, Harold. Please.
Greg, he isn't anywhere around here. Let's go try with the Greg.
Winthrop!
Hey, wait a minute here, son.
Not your phone. Leave go me.
Not till I talk to you for a minute.
I won't listen. Won't tell the truth anyway.
Would to.
Would not.
Would to. Tell you anything you want to know.
You lead a band.
No.
Are you a big liar?
Yes.
Are you a dirty, rotten crook?
Yes.
Leave go me, you big liar.
What's the matter? You wanted the truth, didn't you? Now I'm bigger than you, and you're going to stand here and get it all, so you might as well quit wiggling. There's two things you're entitled to know. One, you're a wonderful kid. I thought so from the first. That's why I wanted you to band, just so you'd quit moping around and feeling sorry for yourself.
What band?
I always think there's a band, kid.
What's the other thing I'm entitled to know?
Well, actually, the other thing isn't any of your business now that I think of it.
Would you never come to River City?
No, you don't, Winthrop.
Sister, you believe him?
I believe everything he's ever said.
But he promised us.
I know what he promised. And it all happened just as he said. The lights, and the flags, and the colors, and the symbols.
Where was all that?
In the way every kid in this town walked around here all summer and looked and acted. Especially you! And the parents, too. Does Mama ever wish she'd never come to River City?
Well, you do, don't you?
No, Winthrop. Now go. Harold, please.
Go on, Professor. Hurry up.
I can't go, Winthrop.
Why not?
For the first time in my life, I got my foot caught in the door. There was love all around, but I never heard it singing. No, I never heard it at all, till there was you.
Greg, through here. That way. That way.
Professor, that way.
But the professor does not run. Constable Locke solemnly takes him into custody. Meanwhile, we one last time head to the Madison Gymnasium. The mayor is at the podium.
Which is why I have interrupted the program at this point. Rest assured, this snake in our bosom would have been misapprehended at this point. Yes, and always remember, fellow River citizens, that I did everything in my power to prevent this dire happening from happening. Fourscore.
What have you done to get our money back?
That professor collected nearly $300 in uniforms just tonight.
And we hadn't even seen them uniforms yet.
Well, he's slippery, I told you.
I haven't seen any uniform or my boy either.
He's a kidnapper. Mm-hmm.
Fine situation here.
Fourscore. Just a minute. Virtue has triumphed. The sword of retribution has cut down Professor Harold Hill. And if there are those, who I have heard, who are melting tar and collecting feathers, I will not say them nay.
I think there ought to be some of you who could not forget our everlasting, Iowa stubborn, chip-on-the-shoulder arrogance long enough to remember River City before Harold Hill arrived. Do you remember? Well, do you? Surely some of you ought to be grateful for what he's brought to River City, and if so, I should think that you'd want to admit it.
You are wasting a great deal of time here. There's a person in this hall who doesn't think this man, Hill, should be tarred and feathered. Let him stand. You lady, sit down. And the rest of you, standing here like a coat of Shropshire sheep. Have you people forgotten how you bought expensive uniforms, technical instruction books, and high-priced band instruments? Have you forgotten the clear understanding and warranty that your children will be taught to play in a band? Well, where's the band? Where is the band?
Think, man, think.
That's Eddie's clarinet.
Lizzie! My Lizzie!
We have one final little video to do.
We need
One final short treat.
We need someone needs to unshare their screen.
Try it now, Maria.
Bye.